Well, it was 1 year ago today when tragedy shattered Apalachee High School. On that day, gunfire erupted in the halls of the Barrow County campus. 4 people, two 14-year-old students, 2 teachers were killed. 9 others were injured in what became the deadliest school shooting in Georgia's history. A grand jury has charged the alleged gunman, 15-year-old Colt Gray, with 55 counts ranging from murder to aggravated assault and cruelty to children. Prosecutors plan to try him as an adult. His father, Colin Gray, was indicted on 29 counts, including second-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and cruelty to children. In April, Colin Gray successfully had his trial moved, citing substantial pre-trial publicity. And this morning, we learned that he has received a new date for the start of his trial that is now set to begin February 9th. 1 year later, a grassroots movement is turning grief into action. We talked with Layla Renee Contreras, lead organizer and co-founder of Change for Chee. She was a student at Apalachee, her sister, currently a senior, and her mother, a substitute teacher at the school. We asked Layla what one emotion still stays with her the most since that tragic day.
A lot of fear, I believe, and just unimaginable grief.
Yeah. How are the families doing?
Well, it still feels very fresh. Some are quiet, some are vocal, but a lot of them are still showing up, and that brings comfort, to the community, I feel. And but they're not just showing up with words, they're just showing up with presence and purpose as well.
Yeah. Talk to me about the anniversary that's coming up. What's happening on the day of that anniversary to remember the lives that were lost?
Yes, so there's a full day of remembrance across Barrow County. Students are participating in a service day named Day of Prevailing Love. Chris Singleton is also speaking that morning or that afternoon with the children. A group of us are going to be at the Georgia State Capitol with lawmakers to commemorate the day and the lives of, Christian, Mason, Christina, and Richard. And then pastors later that evening, pastors and politicians are gathering at the school flagpole for a candlelight vigil. And then the next day, my organization, Change for Chee, we're having a student-led and community-led and family-led vigil and canned food drive in honor of the 4 that we lost that day at the local Home Depot in Winder.
Yeah. Talk to me about Change for Chee. What are you guys advocating for in particular?
Well, we want safer schools. Above all else, it should be about the children. It should be about protecting, our next generation of leaders and community members, right? We're asking that lawmakers and everyone in the communities invest in the children, because no community has ever faulted for investing in their future.
Yeah. Layla, have you seen any change since a year ago? Have you seen much change in the school since then?
We have been advocating and going to each Board of Education meeting. We've been going to the state capitol. This past January, we got AI weapons and metal detection systems, as well as student IDs for our students. So we have also bridged some communication gaps between our school system and the families. I think clearer communication between everyone will, rebuild some of that trust that was lost.
Yeah. You guys are advocating for that change. Is that what the families want out of this tragedy?
Yes, they do not want their family members to have died in vain. They're asking for protection for the kids and the teachers. They want safer schools. They want stronger leadership and accountability. And, that doesn't require another tragedy for it to happen, right? They want elected officials to listen and not make this political. And they want better communication between the institutions, especially when a student makes a threat. They want irresponsible gun owners to be held accountable in the event their child accesses one and does harm to others or themselves. They just want to make sure that their babies are safe at school, as they should be.
Yeah. Layla, you poured yourself into this, a lot of yourself into this. Talk to me about how this journey has changed you personally.
I never would have imagined me jumping into this fight. And you don't think it will ever happen in your community until it does. And my sister was there that day, as well as my mother. And when I was out there on the football field, I just saw that something needs to happen so this doesn't happen to another community. It changes me in the way that we're rebuilding. We're rebuilding a community because our whole community was shaken to its core. And the students definitely give me hope. And it's the ones that were able to keep raising their voices. It looks like families who still show up with full of hearts, and even though they're changed, they're still hurting, and they have the same fire and the same love and the same determination that keeps me going. So,
let me ask you this last question for you. How do you hope this community and really the whole state of Georgia will look back on your group's work 10 to 5 years from now?
You know, I hope that our lived experiences are enough to change the minds and hearts of those who are responsible for policy changes. I think that people have more compassion for the work that we've done and for our community, because it will never be forgotten here. And I hope they listen to us and these students who are going through college and moving on. But we don't want to be living in the rear view mirror all the time, but this is something that does stay with us.
All right. Layla, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for all that you're doing for our community.